Last Breath Diaries, The Friend Who Killed Me, August 2024, Highland, Utah. A quiet neighborhood where the sound of crickets fills the night, and where a woman named Casey Lynn Terry, just 38 years old, was living what she thought were her final days. You see, Casey believed she was dying. Terminal cancer, stage 4, no cure, no hope, or so she'd been told. But what if I told you the person who convinced her of that wasn't a doctor? It was her friend, her nurse friend. Her name was Megan Randall Sunwall, registered nurse, mother, friend, and now accused murderer. Casey met Megan back in 2019. They bonded fast, hundreds then thousands of messages back and forth. They laughed, cried, shared their fears, but between the words there was a darker undercurrent, one that nobody saw coming. Megan started whispering seeds of sickness into Casey's life, convincing her she had cancer, that she was dying slowly, that it was only a matter of time before she'd take her last breath. Imagine that for a second, trusting someone so deeply that when they say you're dying, you believe them. Would you question them? Or would you start planning your goodbye? Months turned into years. Casey withdrew from the world. Her body wasn't failing her. Her faith in her friend was. Megan told her things like, if I were in your place, I'd end my pain. Text after text, day after day. It was manipulation wrapped in sympathy. And then came August, the final month. The month Megan would help Casey go peacefully. But peace was the last thing she gave her. August 2024, Highland, Utah. Casey's uncle arrived at her home to check in. He found her lying still in her bed, unresponsive, cold. Megan was there, standing in the room, calm. She told him Casey had been unconscious for hours, that she had a DNR, a do not resuscitate order. Except there was no DNR, no legal paper, no permission, just a friend deciding when another friend would take her final breath. When paramedics arrived, they saw it immediately, a small diabetic needle nearby. Except Casey wasn't diabetic, she'd never been. At the hospital, her blood sugar was 14. That's not just low, that's deadly. Doctors fought to bring her back, but within days, Casey was gone. Her last breath, stolen by the hands she trusted most. Autopsy results later told the real story. Casey had no cancer, no terminal disease. She was killed by insulin and promethazine, injected from outside her body. Let that sink in. She didn't die from illness, she died from belief. A belief fed, nurtured, and weaponized by the woman she thought was her lifeline. Investigators would later find something else, something chilling. A deleted text from Megan the day of Casey's death. It read, "Do you want to take some promethazine when I get there so that you're asleep when this is happening?" That wasn't comfort, that was coordination. A nurse orchestrating death. And if that wasn't enough, Megan went on to search for Casey's life insurance policy worth over $1.5 million. She thought she'd be the beneficiary. She thought this was her payday. Instead, it became her downfall. Casey's obituary paints a different picture, one that breaks your heart. She was vibrant, loved the outdoors, worked with adults with disabilities, had no children of her own, but filled the role of mom for so many. And when she couldn't work anymore, she found comfort in her dog, Bella. That little creature probably curled up next to her that night, waiting for her to wake up. But Casey never did. Her breath faded, her heartbeat slowed, and somewhere between loyalty and betrayal, she took her last breath. You know, it makes me wonder, how does someone go from healer to killer? From comforting your patient's pain to creating it? How do you convince someone they're dying just to make them die? And maybe the scariest part, would you have known if your nurse, your friend, was slowly pulling you closer to your last breath? So Nurse Chat, I want to hear from you. 1, do you think Casey ever suspected the truth before she died? 2, should nurses who commit crimes like this face the death penalty? Or is life in prison enough? 3, and most importantly, what does this case say about the power of trust when the person you trust most is the one who kills you? Thank you for stopping by Last Breath Diaries, where every heartbeat tells a story, and every story ends with one final breath. If you were pulled into this one, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to keep this series alive. And before you go, catch up on our previous episodes, Patient X and Friends, because each one holds a pulse that fades slower than the last. Until next time. And that concludes tonight's chapter of Last Breath Diaries. Thank you for stepping into the dark with me. If you felt that chill, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you'll know exactly when the next story takes its final breath.